Hi, this is Chip Addis with Addis Hill, and I'd like to spend a little bit of time today in this video talking about the three phases of retirement. About 25 years ago, I read a book called The Prosperous Retirement Guide to the New Reality, and it was written by a guy by the name of Michael Stein. And the interesting thing is it's really as relevant as ever. But it talks about these three phases of retirement, and there's a lot that can be learned from that in terms of your income planning and spending in retirement. Now, some of you may have heard about this, but let me just spend a few minutes and go through this. The first phase of retirement is called the GoGo stage. With the GoGo stage, it's really the early stage of retirement. You may be working, you're doing some part-time work, busy as ever, and for some busier than you were when you were working. But you have all your mental capacity and you feel good, and you've got the time now to do a lot of different things. So there's more spending that goes on in the GoGo phase, but there's also more income that's needed to be generated. And speaking of income planning and retirement, I'm going to spend the next video to talk a little bit about income generation strategies. But that's enough of that for now. So the first phase of retirement is the GoGo phase. The second phase of retirement is the SlowGo phase. And this happens differently for everybody, but usually, somewhere between 70 and about 80 to 85 are the SlowGo years. Your body's telling you to slow down. You might begin to think more about downsizing. Your life routines and patterns and things like that are more important than really they've ever been. And really your spending starts to change too, because you have less of a need for discretionary spending. You're not doing quite as much perhaps as you were in the GoGo years. So spending does change, and income requirements, of course, to generate that spending changes as well. So then beyond the SlowGo years are the NoGo years. And in the NoGo years, you might need some physical, you might need some more emotional, you might need more physical support. So this is usually the phase where you start thinking about care facilities and things like that, places you can live that provide those types of supports. And really in the NoGo years, discretionary spending, diminishes, but in many cases just goes away. And in these NoGo years, you have fewer choices because you're just not able to do quite as much as you were in the SlowGo years, and certainly in the GoGo years. So these are just a little bit of insight into these phases, because I think as you're thinking about your retirement and planning for your retirement, you can start to think about the income and spending requirements just a little bit differently. And I know we spend quite a bit of time modeling that for our clients to get a good feel for how it all might plan out. And I think the other key is, planning ahead in this area can make a huge difference in terms of how you're thinking about these issues and getting yourself ready for these various phases of retirement. So I hope this was a little bit insightful, and as I said, we'll go into a little bit more detail next time on how to generate the income that you need to provide for the spending requirements. And please don't forget to subscribe for these videos and for our regular blog posts that we generate every month. So thank you very much for being with me, and I hope you found this information to be helpful.